Not muted. You're not muted.
It says muted, but I can't. I won't let me change it or move it. I'm frozen.
Be quiet.
Okay.
Hey. Good.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey.
Y'all sound sad. You okay?
Huh?
What's up? You look sad. You okay?
Oh.
We're on 4SistersLIVE, guys.
I know. Here we are. I know. Wake up. We're here. It's a wonderful, sunshiny day. What's up? We're good. I smile and I'm showing all of my teeth.
I wore the sunshine today just in case we didn't get the
I love it. I love it.
I love it. Thank you. Hey, Jolene, how you doing, girl?
I'm fine. How are you?
All is well. All is well.
All is well in my soul. Yes.
All right.
Weekend already. Yeah.
Yes. Happy Women's History Month.
Yes.
Happy Women's History Month. It's a wonderful sunshiny day. We got a lot going on. It's going to be a great day. We have some awesome guests coming on. We already know what day this is. It's our first Saturday of the month, and we talk about domestic violence. Hey, come on in, everybody. Come on in. We want you to join in the conversation today because we have some awesome guests who's going to be on a platform, and we have a lot to discuss. But Peggy, how has your week been, girl?
Wonderful. Cannot complain at all. It's been good. I got my shot.
Oh, congratulations. Wait a minute. Were you in the line at Six Flags?
No.
Oh, you went to a real doctor. I'm sorry. You went to a doctor.
Well, people are. Well, we're going to have our Dr. Rawlings come in on next week.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that, the vaccine. A lot of people really enjoyed that, Linda, last month in our segment about health and wellness. They really took away a lot. They were very engaged, and some of my people went back to watch it because they wanted to hear exactly what he was saying. And it's to each his own, everyone that feels safe. If you feel safe, but guess what, people? We still have to wear our masks. We still have to wash our hands. We still have to social distance. We must still contain all of that as other states opt out not to. And we already know what's about. You know, they don't want to go along with maintaining with wearing your mask, but we must know that we need to wear our mask. But Peggy, good for you. Yeah.
It wasn't bad at all. It was like, look, I'm not good at doing needles, right? So I gave them heads up.
Whew.
All right, I said, look.
I'm
And
still.
before
I'm
I
still
said that,
working on
she had already done it. It was done.
it. That's great. That's
Did
great.
you do the Johnson and Johnson or the Pfizer, or what did you do? Do you know?
I did the what's the name of it?
Moderna.
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 Oh, you did
Moderna.
Moderna. Okay, yeah. Wow.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
so
trying
that
to
means
get. I'm
one
still
more
trying to
shot.
get mine. I'm still maneuvering with the DC website, and they keep changing things. And they have the Johnson and Johnson, understand, at the convention center. So, but that, you still got to get registered. I ended up registering. They're going to do pre-registrations now for DC residents because that website is something else. I've been trying every
They're doing
single week. So, but anyway,
Well,
yeah,
let me tell you, I
Johnson is
just had
here.
the hookup. It's all about who you know.
It's all about
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. I did call a hookup. My hookup hasn't called me back yet. But
Get
that's okay.
another hookup. Get another
good.
hookup. Yeah.
I'm good. I'm gonna take my time.
But
I will get
as
it.
we know, they're beginning to start scheduling those
Yeah.
who need credit. If you're of age, especially our seniors, they want them to get the vaccine as well. And so it's a lot going. Yeah, I said, Linda got her figures. Yeah, me, I would be in the senior category. But no, we still have to maintain being safe, stay safe, and being around your families and doing things that's safe. It's common sense, people. We got to use common sense, and that's basically what we need to know, that we have to have common sense. But all is well. And Charlene, did you have a great week as well? Did you go get anything done? Anything? What'd you do?
No, I'm not getting the shot. God be with me. So
that's why I asked you. I didn't think she did the shot.
No, I'm not going to get the shot. God, please be with me. I hope I don't ever eat those words, but it's not in my intentions to get the shot. But however, I do suggest that those who want to get the shot. It's up to you. I don't think we should be, damning someone if they do get the shot. That's their choice too.
Yeah.
Do what feels good for you, because like I can't take certain vitamins, and some people are just all about the vitamins, but my body reacts differently. So I tell people to do what works best for you. And as far as masks are concerned, I got to hear about that in the news today. I'm like, what? I mean, yesterday and all week. Like you said, everybody common sense is not the same common sense that you may have common sense for. So you just kind of like, okay, well, get some sense, right? Yeah, somebody could get hurt.
Yeah.
Keep on your mask, please. Keep on your mask. Even in those states, shout out to my red states like Tennessee and Texas and friends that live there. I am praying for you. Keep on your mask, and you might as well go right back into a shutdown yourself. Knowing that these people are not going to wear masks. Be safe. So, I spent my week telling people to be safe and keep your mask on, and learning about different financial markets. I'm super excited about some things that I'm going to be helping some women do. Specifically, our organization is already doing it, but I finally got a clue. I finally got a clue.
You caught up. You finally caught up.
Let me just be honest. Like, I think I have it all. It has nothing to do with money, but I feel like my God has been so good to me, and it has nothing to do with money. But you know what? Just to have your health, your strength, a lovely family, a lovely, significant other, just lovely children. I just feel like I got it all. And when you do have that, you're like, okay, what else do I need? Well, let me tell you, women, this is International Women's Day. You do need to get that financial house in order, and you do need to have that credit in order. You do need a retirement plan. So I kind of like revamped myself and said, let me start thinking about this again. Do I have to? But I got to. So that's what I've been doing this week.
All right.
Hey, Charlene, I really agree with you on that. That's one of the things that I really push in this organization.
Yeah.
If you don't do anything between this time that we're sitting low, take advantage, look at your situation. Your finance is your wealth.
That's right.
All right. And we got to make sure you got your health in place to do what you got to do to make that wealth come through that door.
Absolutely.
So I am with you all the way.
And this is what our platform really is designed. I have to say this all the time, that our platform is designed for us to talk about these topics as we're doing today, because we know these things are still happening. They're not going anywhere. They're still here, even more so now than ever. You know, our domestic violence, as we're talking about today. Next Saturday, second Saturday, is our health and wellness. The third Saturday, we talk about education mentoring. And then on the fourth Saturday, we talk about entrepreneurship. So all of this encompasses everything that we're talking about that keeps us going in our community, in our lives, and in our family. So we have great people. I'm so happy, ladies, that we have people that we can call on to come and speak to us and be with us to speak on these various topics. And they're about the community and they're in it. They are on the front line and they are doing it. And they just come to just share with us and others. They could tell us what's going on. So that's a wonderful thing. I think we're blessed to have such people, even in our Sisters for Sisters network. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, we're gonna have a couple of our ladies on our platform today are from our network. So we're going to be. It's exciting to have them. But in the meantime, we have some birthdays and some shout outs going on. We got some things happening in the hot pick. So Peggy, you know, we got this is what I would like to do. Anyone see Coming to America? I just wanted to ask that first.
I did.
I saw it last night.
I wanted to see it last night.
It was so good.
I did not get to see it. I miss going to the movies. I literally miss.
You know what? I was with Charlene.
Yeah,
I know, because we know that the movie theater was open, we would have just sold it out, because our community of people and others as well, we would have gone to the movies, and we would have really, it would have been nice showing. Of course, they would have seen how, you know, what it would have hit the numbers, and I think it would have sold out everywhere.
It would have sold out. Yeah,
it really would have. But we were home watching it in our comfort of our home places. What did you say, Lynn?
I said, yes, it was a great movie. And then I looked at another one, his old movie.
I love it. So I want to shout out my niece who was in it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. She was in the choir. That's Yanni Crawley. You all remember she won the second season in Sunday Best. Yanni solo singer. Yes.
It's amazing.
I congratulate my baby. Yeah.
I understand there's a gentleman from Prince George's County is in the movie as well.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's good. So yeah, absolutely. So today, because of Coming to America and talking about that, I want to salute Ruth E. Carter. We already know who Ruth E. Carter is. She is the costume designer who designed the costumes for Coming to America. Also, she designed for Spike Lee's movie, Doing the Right Thing, Malcolm X. She did Black Panther. She's just done all the TV and film. She is an Oscar-winning woman of color, American costume designer. She's you have her picture, Dante, because we're going to salute her today as being the woman that we salute. Yay! We salute you, Miss Carter. Keep doing the doggone thing. Yay! Yes. Absolutely. So she's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So we salute her today. We also want to salute, I think we should definitely mention women, all women in the military. We should salute women in the military, who have served and is serving in the military. So we salute women in the military. Absolutely. Yes. So Peggy, as we say, we got birthdays. We want to just say happy birthday to all those celebrating. Is this Pisces month season here?
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
My hubby's birthday is tomorrow.
Let us No.
Oh, that's right.
Huh?
Peggy, our husbands have the same birthday month, and they act alike. Ron's birthday was yesterday.
My auntie's birthday was yesterday, and we celebrated by way of Zoom her 90th birthday. We had a ball last night.
Congratulations.
Yes, 90th birthday. Aunt
Well,
Tammy,
let me shout out the birthday girls. Okay,
happy
we have
birthday, Aunt
Danetta.
Tammy.
We have Danetta's Mooring's birthday out of Baltimore. Lakey Faraz Cosby, Marsha Jews out of Baltimore, Marcella Benjamin, Marion Thomas, Remy Duyale, Kadoya Hodges, and Sharice Holden. All of them are part of us who's celebrating somewhere in the month of March.
All right.
Oh, Linda Shaw said her grandson's birthday is the 16th. So yeah, happy birthday to all who are celebrating a birthday. Yes. You know what? Going back to Coming to America, someone in the chat said the gentleman who's playing Eddie Murphy's son. Would that be who you speak? He's from this area.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, he has a Chad Boseman kind of vibe to me.
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman kind of vibe to me. You know, yeah, he's awesome. He did great. He
did.
So, Peggy, so we have our hot picks, so we can talk about what's going on.
Sure.
As well in the community.
Yes. The first one, Dante, can you bring it up here? Okay, here we go. We have this one. This particular one is going on today. One of our members, Diamond Petty, they're having a virtual open house today and tomorrow from 10 to 4 p.m. If you're interested, go to wealthconsciousenterprise.com. You should be able to pick up the information. But let me tell you, this is going to be amazing. And I'm going to jump on. If I don't get on today, it will definitely be tomorrow.
Okay,
next.
Great.
Dante, next. Well, you know, guys, we're going big time, right? We're going to Power 904
Starting
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one, Don.
Absolutely excited.
This is an event that Dr. Renee Allen and myself will be participating. You know, Dr. Remy Duyale, who is one of us, is presenting this for Women's History Month. Actually, she's doing it for International Women's Day. So take a look at that. These events will be posted on our website. Next. This one is if you're familiar with the Bi-County Business Roundtable with Delegate Darrell Barnes. Each month they put on a Zoom session. This one is Sustaining Your Business While Navigating COVID-19. It's scheduled for March 15th from 9 to 10. Check it out. Go to bcbcroundtable.com for more information. Next. Now, this one is going to be powerful. This is scheduled for March 20th, which is a Saturday. And if you're familiar with Dr. Boyce Watkins, Linda, that's your man, right?
That's your man, Linda.
That is my man. Yes, he is.
This is going to be amazing, guys. This is going to be amazing. I think they're coming on your show, Linda, correct?
Oh, I hope so. Are they coming on my show?
Well, they're going to come in and talk about this particular event, Spring into Wealth.
Oh, yeah. That's true. We're going to give them a spot. Yes. But then they're going to come back again later on in the month. But yes, they are coming.
Right. Thank you so much, Dante. That's it. Woo.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we're going to segue right into what our topic is about today, and it is domestic violence. Ladies and gentlemen, we already know that it's still going on, even again more so now than ever. During this pandemic, a lot of families have been affected by it. A lot of women have been affected by this. So today we're going to engage and we're going to talk about this a little more with our panelists. But before we do that, I want to introduce Walla Blagay. Walla as well is going to be a part of the panel, but she has something exciting going on and she wants to share with you all what she's going to be doing coming up relatively soon. Is Walla there?
There's Walla.
I'm here.
Hi,
How you doing?
we are wonderful. What's going on in your world, girl?
Well, thank you all for having me today. You know, this is one of my favorite months, Women's History Month, because not only do we celebrate women making a difference in our world and our community, but breaking barriers and being able to be bold, which a lot of women, we struggle with sometimes, putting ourselves out there. But this is a new day, and we're actually stepping forward, and I'm stepping forward, and I'm looking at, you know, going forth and continuing my advocacy in the county. And I'm having my event on March 11th, and it's going to be Leading Women. Not only are we going to have our keynote speaker, Dr. Julia Malvo, who is an amazing leader who has been out there, an economist. She's been on MSNBC, CNN, Fox, all of them, talking about various issues of civil rights and economics in the Black community. But also, I'm going to also be honoring leading women who have making a difference in the community. And I've got Patrice Camus who opened up a co-working space in Prince George's County up in Brentwood. I'll be honoring Insay Utoft, who is part of the New Georgia Project. She used to live in Prince George's County, and she moved to Georgia and worked with Stacey Abrams to make a difference in making getting these Georgia senators, the Georgia senators elected. So thank you, Insay, because she said that, you know, while we think it's all fun now, she said it would take years of work to get there. She's going to talk about that. And I got Reverend Lee, who's going to join us too. And she does domestic violence work and part of a group of faith leaders that are focused on domestic violence issues. So we're focusing on leaders in our community, but I'll also be talking about what I plan on doing and that I'm planning on running in Prince George's County Council to make a difference in my community. And that I'm embarking on a new journey. A lot of people know that I've run before, but I'm running again to address many of the issues that we talk about on this show, whether it be domestic violence, providing more support for domestic violence organizations, looking at just transparency in our county, but supporting organizations like this that do provide a service to the community. So I am definitely committed to that, especially when it comes to domestic violence. We have a lot of organizations within the county. We need housing. And we have a lot of housing communities that we willing to provide housing for community for domestic violence victims. You know, at this time, this is a very key time. What they're seeing in the courts now is that domestic violence, those who are suffering from domestic violence are using the system to try to get out of their houses. They are going there, going for protective orders, that type of thing, because right now everybody's home. There's no escape for a domestic violence someone who is suffering from domestic violence. They have nowhere to go. So they're at home, they're suffering. So they go to the system and they say, you know, can you try to get me out of this? And get me out of this would mean like grant a protective order so I can get out of my house. But for those cases are backed up. And in extreme situations, depending on judge, some judges are not as sympathetic, some are. So we need to find a way to get housing, because this is a really critical time for domestic violence housing, that those who are suffering have a place to go when they're suffering, and don't feel now trapped in a house. And if they actually leave, where do they go? Because some of them need to get away from those who are torturing them. So I'm stepping out there. I'm embarking on a new journey, and I want you all. You have to be there on March 11th to hear about my new journey, to hear from Dr. Julian Malvo, and we also have Angela Also Brooks, the county executive, will be joining me, and Derek E. Davis. So we definitely want to see everybody there.
That is
awesome. Don't forget to sign up.
Good job.
So, Walla, let me ask you,
Great.
is this something that you can put your link? Can you put the link into our chat on Facebook? So those,
I would definitely do that.
Yes, because you do have a fundraiser. Yes, and they can go to the site. You all can look at everything, check it out, what she's doing. She has a fundraiser. She needs funding. to continue to do and this work that she's embarking on. So yeah, let's support our sister in this effort. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Good
having
job.
me
Thank
here.
you for sharing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. What we're going to do now, we're going to segue, Peggy. I want you to bring in our panelists because we want to show a video. And Dante, can you start queuing that up, please? We want to show this video. Many of you all may have heard about a young lady named Aaliyah Taylor. And she was brutally attacked by her boyfriend, who's an ex-boyfriend, if you will, who's an NFL player. And he brutally abused her recently. And we want to watch this video, and then we're going to discuss it. We want to bring our panel in after this video.
Okay.
And the Grammy goes to Don't Come Out. Don't stop staring about me now.
The Grammy, sponsored by Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
I still have to regularly get like my concussion checked. I have bolts and steel plate I'm gonna have forever in my arm. I'm gonna have to deal with this the rest of my life.
That's the reality for 27-year-old Aaliyah Taylor after she says she was attacked by her then boyfriend, Chad Wheeler. Taylor says the pair dated for 6 months with barely any arguments.
We were like best friends. We did everything together. I even introduced him to my family. We would babysit my nephew together.
But according to Taylor, that all changed on January 22nd, starting with a text from Wheeler that he'd shaved his head.
He loved his long hair, refused to cut it, and it surprised me and it worried me. I came home and Chad was trying to play it off as if he just kind of cut his hair, but then as time went on throughout the day, he started going downhill emotionally.
Taylor later told police it was the beginning of a manic episode, adding she knew Wheeler suffered from bipolar disorder. Then, according to Taylor, Wheeler snapped into a dark place.
He stood up and he told me to bow down, and I asked him why, and he didn't respond. He just told me to bow down again, and I told him no, and he immediately grabbed my neck, and that's when things began.
Do you recall what happened after that?
When he grabbed my neck, he threw me on the bed, and I remember looking up at him and asking him, "Please stop, Chad. It's me." And I just immediately knew the look in his eyes. That was it.
Taylor, who is 5'9", says that's when Wheeler, 6'7", weighing more than 300 pounds, tried to choke her. According to Taylor, she blacked out twice before the attack was over.
I had touched my face, and I looked down, and there was blood on my hand. And I remember getting up and running to the bathroom. Chad was standing by the bed, by the doorway, and he was sipping his smoothie. And it's like, wow, you're still alive.
Please help me now. I'm gonna die.
Taylor says she then locked herself in the bathroom, called 911, and texted her family and Wheeler's father for help. According to police reports, it took 3 officers and 2 sets of handcuffs to restrain Wheeler. Police said Wheeler kept apologizing as he was arrested.
Do you think that Chad's behavior is directly connected to a mental health issue?
To be honest, I don't know. He went and ate dinner after doing this to me, and he didn't take the same approach with the cops as he did with me.
The Seahawks the team strongly condemns this act of domestic violence. If convicted, Wheeler faces 8 to 12 years in prison. Last week, he pleaded not guilty to 2 domestic violence-related charges and 1 count of resisting arrest. Taylor was in the courtroom.
Why was it so important for you to appear in court?
I didn't want him to think that he had that power over me, that I wasn't going to defend myself. And I thought, how easy would that be for him and his legal team to be able to say whatever they want without having to look me in the eye.
Do you think he should serve prison time for what he did to you?
Yes. Yes, I definitely do think that he should. I have to say the hardest part of all this wasn't the surgeries, it wasn't any of that. It was getting a call from my niece and nephews. They thought they had lost me. And the pain in their voice, I will never forget that. I will never forget that.
And she doesn't want her story to be forgotten either.
How grateful are you to be alive?
Beyond grateful, I really feel like God has blessed me with another chance. And I want to try to use the time I've been blessed with to help other people and to get this story out and make sure people don't feel alone and that this doesn't happen again.
CBS News reached out to the attorneys for Chad Wheeler. They declined to comment on this case. Wheeler's trial is set to begin in Washington State in April. A reminder, if you need help related to domestic violence or mental health, we've posted free resources on our website, cbsnews.com. Sharika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
Wow, that is powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to recognize that women are still going through domestic abuse out here, and many of them do not survive it. Many do not survive, but many do. But in this case, this young lady survived, and I want to bring in our panelists because we want to discuss this video, talking about, there's several things going on in here in this particular video. That's why I wanted to have the panel discussion with Dr. Buckingham, with Reverend Jamila, with Walla and Linda, because there are several things that I take away from this. I don't know what you all took away from it, but I'm taking away a few things relative to what is going on here, the relationship between this young lady and this gentleman. And so, Dr. Buckingham, can you are no stranger to our platform and to our show, of course. Introduce yourself, because I would like to know what your thoughts about this video, particularly from this perspective psychologically, because it seems that this young man has some mental issues.
Well, again, no stranger to this show with these beautiful women. So I'm always excited to, jump on and share what I can about mental health, and specifically more so about domestic violence. I've been in this space in the mental health field for 22 years, seen thousands of people, and specifically women who have been victims of domestic violence. And as I watched this video, I say there's a couple of different things going on. One being, from a psychological standpoint, when the question was asked, does she think, did he have a mental health problem, or did it impact his behavior? And the answer to that is always one of those questionable responses, where the answer could be yes. I heard her say bipolar disorder. So at some point during this conversation, I would actually explain a little bit more about what bipolar disorder is and how it manifests itself. But I think that did play or have some impact on what happened here.
Mm.
Reverend Jamila, you also deal with, this area when it comes to mental health, and you speak on it a lot, even on our show. What did you take away from this video?
Well, she, as was already said, she already indicated that this individual definitely had a mental health diagnosis and mental health challenges. And I think the biggest question, and unfortunately people don't want to address it, is how do you address that? Because if you do not address it, it's going to continue to repeat itself. If you don't get to the foundation of some of the issues that people are dealing with, specifically as it relates to mental health and unaddressed mental health issues, then those challenges are going to continue, and those challenges are absolutely going to be worse when you're dealing with a person who has mental health challenges diagnosed mental health challenges, because let's just be honest, there are many who are abusers who have undiagnosed mental health challenges. But when you know that an individual has diagnosed mental health challenges, it becomes all of our responsibility. It becomes the responsibility of the partner or the spouse to really be able to watch and assess and to encourage getting the appropriate help.
Wow.
I wanted to jump in. I definitely think that it's one of the things we think about is just how this impacts in the court system, especially today. I kind of touched on it earlier, and I wanted to touch on it again. Mental illness has not been a focus of government until now, unfortunately, a bit too late. And a lot of times now we're in the middle of a pandemic where people are home. Sometimes a lot of people use outside and engaging allows them to sort of hide, not even hide their mental health issues, but it can push it, it can suppress it. But right now they're talking about great mental health challenges right now throughout our area. In other areas, they were even talking about opening schools because people were simply committing suicide because of mental health. But think about how mental health can really become a bigger issue when domestic violence, when people are stuck in their homes and there's no way out. The court system is overwhelmed with these cases. Most of the cases that they have now are protective orders, and protective orders are where a lot of these domestic violence situations are boiling over. People, sometimes people get in relationships with people they know that there might be some mental health issues, but they ignore them. It's time to start paying attention to that. You move someone in your house and now you can't get them out. And the only way you can get it is by granting of a protective order that might move them out of the house. And some judges are concerned about putting people on the street right now, kicking people out. So this is something that we need to think about, is like, these things are, this is something that this woman was saying. Some people are not being saved because they're in a home with someone who's dangerous and they're using the court system, waiting for their court date to get this person out. So this is how this is playing out in the court system. And unfortunately, the government is doing very little to focus on mental health issues. And Reverend Jamila Woods can talk about that, as she's, worked in DC too, where you have a lot of people suffering at home and they need clinicians that can come in and kind of intervene. And the clinicians there's not enough money and not enough clinicians to get into these homes to really help with the episodes.
Yeah, definitely. This happens also often, not only just in our communities and our homes. This is happening in the NFL, which we talk about, the sports arena. This is happening as well in schools. This is also happening even in our churches. This is one of the things I wanted to touch on as well, Reverend Jamila. You're being a pastor, and I'm sure you can speak on some of the things in the faith base, how it affects the community and our faith base. Would you like to speak to that as well?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's so important. We get this false impression that because people are involved in churches or in faith communities, that there's a decrease in domestic violence, and that is absolutely positively not true. Domestic violence is similarly widespread in faith communities as it is in secular communities, and we have this unfortunate but real picture perfect view of families who go to church. They come to church and they look like they are the greatest families and they're doing well. And I specifically remember, while I talked about me doing work in DC, I specifically remember speaking with a woman about a family and talking about domestic violence, and she started saying to me, well, no, they're leaders in the church and they're this and they're that. And many of you may have heard about it. In that family, the son winded up killing his father.
Yes.
And when it all came out, and this was a very, very involved church family. And can I just tell you this, because I do domestic violence counseling, I hate to say it, but it's a reality that we have to live with, is the fact that I have counseled court-appointed faith leaders.
Yes.
So if we're going to talk about the faith community understanding, how we address domestic violence in the faith community, we have to, get that elephant in the room of addressing the number of faith leaders who have actually been convicted of domestic violence. And I know it because I have received court appointed in Prince George's County, court appointed clergy, police officers. That we're not going to just break it down to the church, but I have counseled court appointed public servants. And so we have to talk about this whole foundation of domestic violence. We have to talk about, when we specifically relate to the faith community, how do we observe, how do we assess? And I saw Charlene Day make a comment, and you all know I'm a heavy proponent. Every person who serves in the public should have mental health first aid training, because these are also ways that we can look to find and assess problems. And the truth be told, even as it relates to domestic violence in the church, it becomes a little deeper, because then you have something called spiritual abuse. And you have manipulators who will actually use scriptures to justify abusive behaviors. You have people who will prevent their partner or their spouse from the autonomy to worship in the faith tradition of their choice, or they'll force someone to perform acts that violate their religious beliefs. I mean, it gets deeper and deeper. You have shaming and demeaning practices, guilt tactics that people will use. You're supposed to be saved. The Bible says you're supposed to forgive me. And people will use these type of manipulative behaviors. People will use marital prerogative to justify sexual demands that in fact are domestic violence, because what people don't realize, when you force even your partner to have sex, that is domestic violence. And people use the children, will use the children against the victim. And so when we talk about the faith communities, this is a conversation we need to have outside of everything else. Can I just say it? All of the conversations are relative, but unfortunately, and I can tell you that years ago, I used to go around, there were pastors who wouldn't let me in their church. Did y'all hear what I just said? Linda, you know what I'm talking about. There were pastors who would not let me come to their churches to talk about domestic violence. I remember one time a pastor telling me, nobody in my church has acts of domestic violence. I said, that is a lie. I remember another church with a pastor, when I came to do a workshop that Saturday, he laughed. He literally laughed. And he said that where I came from, we used to say, sometimes you got to beat up on your wife to put them in their place. This was the pastor who said that. The next day, he and his wife taught. They both spoke. They both preached about domestic violence. And more than 200 people came to the altar. When he gave a call for people, he gave a call for victims of abuse, and he gave a call for perpetrators of abuse. And the pastor broke down and cried, because here's a problem that's prevalent in his congregation, and he never had a clue.
And that is shameful. It is so shameful that we have to speak about this. The truth is the truth about it. And I believe Dr. Buckingham mentioned it sometimes. At one point in time, Dr. Buckingham, you addressed the church. You talked about how things happen from that standpoint.
I do. I actually have an academy called the Academy for Pastoral Psychological Care, where I actually focus on pastors who also are wounded. And the problem is, whenever people are wounded, they do one or two things. They either turn their eye to those who are being violated, or they become part of the problem. And so a lot of the pastors, I started the Academy for Pastoral Psychological Care because I was teaching pastors the difference between theology and psychology. And so theology, unfortunately, keeps a lot of Black people, specifically when it relates to domestic violence, captured. And so in psychology, as the Reverend was just saying, we take a whole totally different approach in identifying the things that you can't hide behind theology. And so I was teaching some of these pastors that, because it's a major problem within the church environment where the pastors, and so wounded people can't necessarily do proper healing. Can I get an amen? So amen. Amen. Proper healing if you're wounded yourself. And so we have to understand that titles are not necessarily things that position those to be our protectors, whether it be a pastor, whether it be a psychologist. People come to the table and they're wounded themselves. So especially in the church. So we have to address it on all different levels. Theology and psychology are not the same.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Linda Shaw, I mean, we know you deal with it in your community. Can you speak to us of what are your thoughts? Because you really on the forefront of this domestic violence piece.
Yes, as you know, I'm an advocate against domestic violence. I go out and speak and teach and educate those about domestic violence. And as Jamila said, what I did for almost 2 years was I had a grant from the county where I went to churches and we talked to them in reference to domestic violence in the church, not just church, different places like, synagogues, wherever there was, we went out, we talked, and we got a lot of pushback. Got a lot of pushback from different pastors, ministers, priests, everyone saying that they don't have it in their congregation. This is something that need to come to light. You sent me today the actual video link to watch the video in reference to the young lady that we actually just saw. And one of the things that I heard from it, and it really, really got me, was when she said he came into the bathroom and said, "Wow, you're still alive." He was shocked she had survived. And then I went ahead and went to a couple other sites and saw other videos that show where she was actually had been, after she was unconscious, he must have beat her in the face and did some other things to her while she was unconscious. I look at this and I say, mental health is a big thing, and I have a lot of empathy for those who have mental health, especially those who are actually enclosed now due to COVID in the household with someone who's suffering. But mental health is not an excuse for domestic violence abuse, nor should it be allowed to be used, because he said, as I watched him in the courtroom, when they were actually telling him his charges, he actually said that it was due to his episode he had. They were using that as an excuse and using that as a way to say that he should be excused from this. I don't think he was aware he has mental health. He was aware he should be on medicine. He should, it's his choice not to take his medication. So my thing is, it should not be used to not hold him accountable for what he did. And so
I piggyback on that really quick and just speak to that about not necessarily the individual mental health being an excuse, but I think you gotta understand what mental health is, because it's definitely not an excuse. But I think when you understand bipolar is bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and then cyclonic disorder. So what happens with bipolar? So in the mental health space of bipolar, they have taken it outside of the mood disorder. Mood disorder is depression and all that. Bipolar, they actually put it in between schizophrenic. And because literally when you have like bipolar, you have these manic phases and you have these depressed phases. And the difference is that when you're actually in this manic state, mental health, at least specifically bipolar, is not a cognitive issue, which means people know right from wrong. So let's get that straight. When we're talking about mood disorders and we're talking about bipolar, we're talking about fluctuations in moods that occur. And when you understand how the brain works, the brain is divided into 2 sections per se, the higher cortex of your brain and the amygdala part of your brain. The higher cortex of your brain is where rationale lies and we make rational decisions. The amygdala part of your brains is where the emotion happens. So what happens with bipolar is that when the higher cortex is disabled due to instability, the mood kicks in and people can behave very irrationally. So again, it's not an excuse, but it's to understand that we are talking medical. That's the brain, the way the brain is functioning. And so to your point, they need to be medicated, but we cannot discredit and say that they're making excuses. This is physiologically been proven that the body reacts differently when you've been diagnosed with these medical conditions. It is a medical condition.
Can I
and
jump
it
in there
definitely
too?
is. Everyone that we need to know that are on medication need to take their medication. If you know you need help, get some help. Don't be in denial, which we know a lot of them are in a lot of denial. And this conversation can go on and on and on, and we don't have a whole lot of time.
Can I just
Reverend
say one
Jamila,
quick thing?
before we sure, and can you say it in less than 60 seconds? What I want you to do while you're speaking is to say something encouraging before you leave in your speech. Okay.
The encouragement is that there is help available. And the thing that we have to do is make sure we sound the horn and let people know there is help available. The other thing that is encouragement is that people cannot believe that because they have a mental health diagnosis, you know, we've separated physical from mental health. And we don't talk about people because they have high blood pressure, but we talk about them because they have a mental health diagnosis. The encouragement is that we have to look at health as being one health. And we have to compassionately and aggressively address it. As the doctor said earlier, when it's a mental health issue, it has to be addressed. And even though there's accountability for crimes and things that take place, we have to make it a priority that we make sure the person gets the appropriate mental health support for the crime that resulted in the mental health challenge. Because sometimes we talk about putting people in jail, but we don't talk about helping people get the help and make sure that they are getting court required to get the services that are necessary.
Absolutely. So we don't have much time left. We again could talk about this on and on, and I love this kind of dialogue and coming together because we're sharing with the community what it is that they really need to know and take away from this. Ladies, you all do not have to be abused. Neither do men. We're not excluding the men, but we know the statistics about women and our children. And so you do not have to be abused. You don't have to take it. If you are being abused by anyone, be it a male, female, whoever, run, get help, seek help, get shelter, because this is not a game, and it's very serious. And so we want to continue to know that we can help those that help. We have a hotline that we have shown you. If anyone you know that need to call, please use this hotline and get help. I want to thank you. We want to thank you for 4SistersLIVE, Reverend Jamila, Walla Blagay, Dr. Buckingham, and Linda Shaw. Thank you all so much for coming on. You all will be back again. Trust me. We're coming back. It's not going to be just to this day.
Yeah, let's do this. I mean, you know, I get so caught up when these guys come on. We never have enough time, but let each one of them give their name and their contact information for those who want to get in contact with them.
Right.
Okay. Sure.
Go ahead, Dr. Buckingham.
With Linda or anyone. Yes.
Me? Okay. My name is Linda Shaw.
Buckingham.
Okay. Dr. Dwayne Buckingham. You can find me at drbuckingham.com. That's drbuckingham.com. And my quote is this: leave me or love me because abuse is not an option. So take that to the bank. And that's where you all can find me. Leave me or love me because abuse is not an option.
Wonderful. Linda Shaw.
My name is Linda Shaw. I'm over the organization called The Next Step Advocates Against Domestic Violence. You can reach me at 301-512-8376. And I want to say to all the victims, you're not alone. And we believe you. So please come forth, and we're here to help you take the next step.
Yes.
Wonderful. Walla?
So I'm going to post my information for the from my firm in the chat so everyone will have it, but it's massaconsult.global, MASSACUNSULT.global, and you can contact me there, or on my number is 202-441-7650. I'm going to put my information in the chat so people can have it. But my story is, don't reach out to a professional. If you need help, don't be afraid. Many people suffer in silence. There's no need to suffer in silence.
Wonderful. Thank you, Walla. And last but not least,
Hey, I'm Reverend Jamila. My organization is Gabriel's Lyric Therapeutic Services. Our website is www.gltsllc.org. You can also reach me at jamila@gltsllc.org, or you can telephone us at 240-305-9679. That's 240-305-9679. My saying is, there is no excuse for abuse, and that help is available. Please reach out. And the one last thing that I want to say about all of these numbers that we are giving to people is that you all, every single one of us, none of us has an excuse for not being able to give help. Put the telephone numbers in your telephone. If you can't do anything else for an individual, you can give them a phone number.
Yes. Put it on speed dial.
Yes. Yes,
all right,
Linda.
well,
Yep. Put it on speed dial. Always have some communication with someone.
Yes.
Thank you all. This has been wonderful. Thanks.
Yeah.
I can't say thanks enough.
Thank you. I like that. There's no excuse. Hey.
There's no excuse to be a people.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Buckingham.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Buckingham.
you, Thank you, Walla. Thank you, Reverend Jamila.
Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing.
Ladies, this is always a conversation. We can go on and on and on because there's so many women that can relate to this topic.
Yes. Ooh.
Well, why frozen on us?
Okay.
So we are.
We're back.
Say what you say, Peg?
No, you froze on us for a moment or two.
Yeah.
But you're good.
I know I'm having Wi-Fi. It's all good. I'm moving on.
No,
Thank you,
all
ladies. I
froze.
love y'all. Y'all are so beautiful.
Love you too.
We got each other's back, and that's what I love about you guys. But look, we have something exciting to share.
Yeah, don't forget
Hey,
tomorrow.
Tell them what's going on tomorrow. Charlene, tell them where we are, what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on Power 904. Check us out. We're super excited about that. You can go there.com. We'll be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. What time is our show?
Yeah.
9 a.m.
9 o'clock.
So be there and be square. We're on power904.com. Yay. We're doing
Audio.
big things, you know. Big things. So yeah.
We're flying, guys.
Oh,
We're flying.
We're super flying. So
Thanks,
enjoy.
thanks for Tori.
Yes,
we want to give a
shout out to
Tori.
Tori, yes,
Tori.
please.
Hey,
And
Tori.
Niger.
And Niger. Yes.
Yes.
Dante, do you
Thanks
have
for
our
watching.
spot up? We want everybody to hear the spot. You got the spot up and ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good stuff. But while he's doing, next week, Linda.
Yes, next week we have Dr. Lane rolling all the way from Las Vegas. And will be talking to us about our health and the vaccine.
Okay, he's coming back. Phase 2, right?
This will be part 2, and we will have another part, but make sure you tell all of your family and your friends, especially your family and your friends, because this is going to affect your health in the long run.
All right.
Absolutely. Looking forward to Dr. Rowling next week.
What
Go
time is
forward, Dante.
Time for you to set your radio to Power 904 every Sunday, 9 o'clock a.m. It's 4Sisters Live with Peg, Wyoming, Linda, and Charlene. The show that will leave you enlightened, empowered, inspired, and informed. Conversations that connect you to the community. 4Sisters Live, Sundays, 9 o'clock a.m. right here on Power 904. Always sisters, always friends.
Right.
Yes. And we've had a great day. We've had a lovely time with our guests, thanking them all. And once again, I love you, ladies. And with that being said, we've had a great time. What time is it? It's time for
you to walk in your purpose and prosperity.
For prosperity. Woo!
And prosperity.
Love you guys.
Love you, ladies. See you all next week. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Health and wellness.
Always friends. Let's stay real close till the end. Forgiving each other, letting love cover. Always sisters, always friends. We have to live in harmony, even though we may disagree. Inspiring each other is not the answer. Sharing the grace.